Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Alma, Missouri. Welcome back to October. It's Oktoberfest, and soon will be Halloween here in Alma. But what we're doing right now is we're harvesting corn. We're going to be taking our corn down to the flour mill. We're going to be making corn flour. With our corn, that corn flour is going to go to our bakery, where we're going to bake cornbread using corn flour and butter that we are making at our dairy with the milk from our cows. Once we have enough money, we're going to buy the corn dryer. We're then going to also dry corn, take our dried corn over to the popcorn factory, and make ourselves some popcorn and buttered popcorn, because again, we're making butter. We're just trying to maximize our production here on the map, maximize our profits, see how things work. Ben, I suggest you go check out my part 2 video for all the ins and outs of straw harvest and the balers. But I will give you this little nugget of info. Hit the in button with the baler selected. It will open the little netting door on the front of the round baler, and at that point in time you can pull up to your pallet and fill it as you would fill any other fillable fill type. Well, then you would hit whatever button it says to hit. I don't use a controller, so I don't know if it's X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, or exclamation point, or whatever the buttons are on a PS5 controller. I would say pull up the little help menu, and it should tell you how to open the netting door. But on PC, it's in. And then it's R to fill. Captain Kiwi, thank you so much, sir, for the super chat. Not super chat, the super... Yeah, I guess it is a super chat. With your membership information. The week is not bad. The week's not bad. It's warming up here. It's warming up. I think it's going to rain all evening and most of tomorrow. It's going to be in the 70s come Friday, which is a far cry from where it started this week in the single digits. I guess Xbox controllers are shapes: triangle, square, circle, and X. Freezing rain. Yeah, it was. Last time we had a low of 38. It was in its 50s today. 50s and overcast, but not too bad of weather overall. I did a little bit more baling and wrapping. These are still fermenting. So we're not going to be able to use these to make silage anytime soon. Oh, we want to eject, right? Why? Why ask why? I want to drive. Why won't you let me drive? go. All right, there we go. We get this prepped for our next set of bales. Oh my gosh, I'm worried about this worm. Those over there. This thing lined up. Okay. Back to work. Back to work. How's everybody's Wednesday been? It's hump day. 2 more days of work and then the weekend. Oh, you haven't gotten a chance to get out to the straw harvest pack yet? We've got a poll going on. The answers are yes, no, or meh. Yes is I am liking the straw harvest. I'm using the straw harvest. No means I have 0 interest in the straw harvest. And meh basically is you've messed with it, but you don't really understand what all the fuss is about. A 5-week holiday. Oh my gosh. How do you get 5 weeks off in a row? Like, we got a limit of 2. I get like 6 weeks off a year, but we still have a limit of like 2 at a time. A little surprised we didn't have a mod drop today. But there is never a mod drop guaranteed. Giants released their fourth issue of the Farming Simulator magazine. Y'all had not seen the news on that. I've not had an opportunity to check that out yet, but if anybody has, I'd love to hear what you thought. What was in this episode, not episode, issue, was in this issue. Farmer 2021. Welcome. Welcome. What's an RDO? I don't know what that is. Put this over here. Get it out of the way. Straw. Straw, we can use straw. We can load them up with straw. So I still don't rostered day off. I still don't understand that. Well, you'll get a straw bale. You get a straw bale soon enough. But I do wish you could unload partial round bales and partial square bales. That would be nice. Where's Schultz? I need to run out of fuel. That'd be a nice feature to add in the next farm sim, is the ability to unload partial bales. Definitely a quality of life improvement. Oh, good luck with your MRI. Now, I think the straw harvest balers behave like the balers of FS19. I was noticing this when I was using the balers, when I was making my videos about it, but it felt like in FS19, this is the way it worked, was, let's say, using the 10 liters short, for example, let's say your baler was mostly full of straw, and then you went and baled a little bit of grass. The entire bale would turn to grass. In FS22, it basically would stay straw. And then it would output straw, right? You'd have one straw bale output, and then the rest would be grass. And it was annoying. Because you're like, oh, now I have this one random bale that is not like all the others. Of course, in 19, there was a little way to exploit that. Right? You would, let's say, make most of the bale in straw, and then you would go over and you'd grab a little bit of grass off the side and make it a grass bale. And then, of course, you would wrap that and sell it for silage. So you would just, you know, make a whole bunch of bales that were almost straw. Then you'd go and fill them up with grass, and they'd become grass bales, and there you go. But in 22, they changed that to where basically it's the bale is whatever it's mostly of. But it feels like the straw harvest balers are acting more like FS19 balers than 22. Lifehawk is always in favor of straw harvest. I think it adds a lot to the gameplay. For sure. If anything, it's adding twine and net wrap, which we do have mods for now. It's giving you something else to do. Another avenue to bring money into your operation. Load up. Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers, the electric company. There were a couple others. I'm not remembering at the time. The Muppet Show is fun. And then I would watch weird shows like Bob Vila's This Old House with Norm Abram. You know, before Norm Abram became Yankee Workshop. Now, I vaguely recall another show that I watched, but I have no idea what the name of it was. It dealt somehow with, like, drawing. Like, the host would draw on this giant wall these characters. And then, like, there would be like a story, but it dealt around drawing. And I've tried for years to try to figure out what the name of that show was, and I've failed miserably every single time. See, I like the Swedish chef and the other guy who was always with him. Animal was funny, but the Swedish chef was the best. We didn't get enough Swedish chef. Yeah, see, Dozer agrees. Beaker is where it's at. J&M Farming, that is something called Vehicle Speed Sync. My good friend of the channel, GTX Modding. It is a script mod, so it's PC only. And it basically allows you to sync your speed with whatever vehicle you are directly next to. Perfect for overloading a harvester. Perfect for a forage harvester, and you're overloading into a trailer. If you're following something, then vehicle speed sync allows you to sync your speed to the harvester. So if the harvester slows down, you slow down. If the harvester stops, you stop. And the sync is broken one of two ways. It's either broken because you touch the accelerator or touch the brake, or two, the thing that you are synced with, the harvester, stops, and then it breaks the sync. So we're going to use it when we get back. So over to Giants Mod Hub, Vehicle Speed Sync. Has a couple different modes, but I like to use the sync mode. Yeah, Donald, we've turned into a civilization of pansies. That's what we've turned into. But what we still need to do is we still need to acknowledge Alpha Tryon and Jonathan. Thank you for being farm barons. Holy cow, we're not repairing that right now. We're practicing what we're going to call deferred maintenance. And we're deferring our maintenance of $22,000. Captain Kiwi, if it's a raven, don't let him in. Hark, the raven is knocking at my chamber door. It does not bode well. All GTX mods are awesome mods. You should just download his whole collection. Guaranteed you've probably used 3/4 of his mods and didn't really realize who they were of, because they're always so useful. So, vehicle speed sync. Left shift 3 basically says sync cruise control. So if I come up here and I hit left shift 3, so I've now synced my cruise control with the harvester. Left shift 3. Okay, the harvester's cruise control is set to 6, so my cruise control is set to 6, which it typically is fine in this mode, unless the harvester slows down for some reason. So let's say the harvester slows down because it's climbing a hill. It can't maintain 6. It will slowly fade behind me while I maintain 6 and slowly continue forward. Left shift 4 is full on sync. So now my speedo is blue, purple, whatever you want to call it. So watch. I don't have my hand, I don't have my feet on the throttle, I don't have my hand on the keyboard, I don't have my hand on the wheel. We are 100% hands off. The F1 menu says I've synced with the harvester. Now watch what happens when the harvester gets to the end of the row. I'm going to slow down when he slows down, and I'm going to stop when he stops. And now my speed sync is broken because he reversed. J&M Farming, he won't be doing an English translation. He's my understanding is he doesn't speak English, or maybe he does, but he's very very nationalistic. I don't know. I don't think he's a patriotic. I don't see him releasing an English version. Let's just say that. So, for example, if you go over to their forums, it's all German. And pretty much one of the rules is that you post in German. Which is fine, because, you know, we can use things like Google Translate to type our question in and convert it to German. And we can use Google Translate to convert all the web pages on his site and on the forum to English. But I don't see him creating an English version. Yeah, the only map he's ever made has been Hofbergman. Every game version, it's different, but it's always Hofbergman. So the Hofbergman in 17 was completely different than the Hofbergman in 19, which is completely different than the Hofbergman in 22. There's some minor similarities with respect to the farm layouts, but the maps themselves are completely different. The productions are different. Like in 22, the bakery is very, very simplified. In 19 and 17, the bakery was much more complex. You had to actually mix the dough with water and flour and yeast. And then you had to put the dough in a bakery, in an oven. And then you had to take the dough out of the oven and after it was baked. But there are other things that have been added in 22 that weren't in 19 or 17. In 17, you could go around and take slurry out of people's septic tanks, like homes, and garbage or trash bags would appear along the street curb, and you could go around and collect trash bags and take them to the recycling center to get money. All right, how much is this corn grinder? Oh my, it's gonna be a while before we can do that. you, Donald. Farm maintenance is in the winter. That's what you do in the winter. Is you maintain things. I can't tell you how many wheel bearings I've packed with grease over winter. But trust me, it was way too many. I ended up getting that job because I managed to do it without getting completely covered in grease. Nowadays, people would wear gloves. No, we didn't do that back then. Schultz, you missed it. I had to fuel up. I didn't wait for you. Yeah, prior to that, Tukey, we were simply driving around on cylinders, not individual wheels. I don't need to repair this thing. It is just fine. Plus, the shop wanted $22,000. And I said, no, that's okay. It's a case, it's got at least another 12 hours in it. It's not like it's John Deere where it needs to be maintained every 5 hours. Tell you what, speaking of repair costs, I had an interesting letter today. A letter today from the manufacturer of my vehicle. My real life vehicle. That's old people talk for car. For you young whippersnappers. It basically said that my 10-year-old vehicle was getting a warranty extension. No, this is not one of those scams where we want to extend your car's warranty. This was all legit. It said, we've detected an unusually large amount of vehicles manufactured between this date range and make and model that you own that have had larger than expected needs to repair the brake lights, like the plastic housing around your brake lights. Apparently, some of them have melted. I don't know, crazy. So we've decided to offer you a 15-year warranty on that item, or up to 200,000 miles. That's like, what? Wait, you've identified this part fails often, and you're going to give me a longer warranty on this part. So if it fails, I can get it replaced for free. This isn't a recall. No. It's not a recall. It's simply, hey, if your brake light melts between now and 200,000 miles or 15 years from the car's manufacturer date, take it to a dealer and they'll replace it. It's like, cool, dude. I got one before related to the engine or drivetrain. No, it's had its fair share of recalls too. No, this never didn't mention anything about a car catching fire. That's only Fords catch fire. What's up, Oregon Trees Gaming? How's it go? When I first got it, I thought it was dealing with brake lights. I had a rash of brake lights burn out. Haven't had an issue recently though. But there for about a year, I probably went through like 4 brake lights. Shane, you just create the folder outside of Giant's Editor and put your file in it. So you create the folder like you'd create any other folder. Unless I'm not understanding the question. But for it to be a mod, it needs to have more than just the i3D. There needs to be a mod desk.xml that basically tells the game what it is. And then typically a mod icon that would then show up in the mod selection screen. Or you wanted to take a mod that's for FS22 and make it work in 17? That's like a reverse conversion. I've completely exhausted my knowledge of mods at this point, by the way. All right, let's see here. We got our corn flour rocking and rolling. Top of the hour, we're gonna shove corn corn flour over here. Start making our cornbread. I've already made some cornbread, so we'll sell that. We're still working, selling through our ketchup. We're not gonna be able to make popcorn anytime soon. Oh. Alright, fine, we'll just run. What? Oh my gosh, how did we run out of fuel? I mean, I think you probably need Giants Editor from Farm Sim 17. I don't know if the current Giants Editor can make a 17 mod. But again, at this point, the delineation of what is fact and what is fiction, as far as what's coming out of my mouth, is blurred. The trailer, by the way, another GTX Mods creation. This one will also do electric charging. So what happened is when an AI helper uses a vehicle, it won't run out of fuel. But the AI helper stopped, so the instant I got into it, it was out of fuel. Are you about done? The helper ran it out of fuel. It had fuel in it when I started. I wish we had, like, dynamic pumps and hoses. Pumps and hoses. No, not that. Not those pumps and hoses. But like when you come up and you refill, like you have to go to the side that has the actual fuel tank. And a hose would go from the pump to the fill tank. And when you connected, let's say your milk trailer to the milk trigger, a hose would connect, and visually you would see a connection between those two things. That'd be a nice little quality of life feature to add in the next farm sim. Yeah, see? Right there. So I'd have to come up behind it, and when I filled it, like the fill would go to that connection. I do not want to have to manually connect all the hoses. No, that's just monotonous. Back in the old days of FS17, we did have a mod called Dynamic Hoses. And Dynamic Hoses was just that. It was automatic hoses that if you pulled up to a water fill trigger, a slurry fill trigger, a hose would magically appear between what you were connecting to and your trailer. And then your liquid would transfer. And then when you were done, the hose would disappear. Except there was a funny little bug on multiplayer servers where for other people the hose wouldn't disappear and it would stay connected, and as you drove around I still remember seeing it. As you drove around, other players on the server would see this magical black hose that was still connected to you, trailing behind you, going all the way back to where you came from. But aside from that, it was great. It gave you a realm of realism, a realm of believability. And the manure system is fine, but at least in 19, trying to wrangle the hoses around and hold them just right and get them to connect, and then trying to hold and move the floppy hoses around and get them back up on the hose trays. You spend more time playing with the hose than actually using a hose to fill or empty whatever you're trying to fill or empty. Yeah, it's basically the dynamic hose mod. Those are in certain things would be compatible with it. Watch out for the train. And my guess is whoever developed that in 17 left the game. So that feature, that mod, that capability just kind of got orphaned. Sean, what's up? And Wobster came in 19 and made his manure system, which was basically a more manual hose system. Now we do have, to some degree, that type of hose system today on Hofbergman if you use the LSFM tanks and configure the tanks to support that, but that's limited to just Hofbergman and just those tanks configured that way, where you have to pull up to a trigger, you hit a button to connect the hose, and then after the hose is connected, you hit another button to unload. So I'd like to see that more global. It's the F variant of Rabid Rob. Welcome. Welcome. I got some more of my merch in yesterday. I need to take some pictures. I got a Tractors Make Me Smile pint glass. I got a Tractors Make Me Smile metal water bottle. 20 ounces, I believe, so it's not huge. So that came in. And then I've got a, I'd rather be farming, stainless steel mug cup. Like a Yeti thing, but not a Yeti thing. With the whole lid that has a top slider. Got some t-shirts in. I'm going to be wearing those at the farm show. I'll be also wearing those at the at PAX East in March. But if anybody can make it out to the farm show in Louisville, Kentucky in 3 weeks' time, love to meet up with you, hang out at the show, hang out with you after the show. If you are in a position where you can make it down for a day, that would be absolutely awesome. Well, that's what happens. That's what happens, Delilah, when you just forget to stash all your money. Well, we've also encouraged Giants to make their way out to the Farm Progress show. Is that the toy show or is that a different show entirely? That'll get some Midwest loving, right? They've been to PAX East, that's Boston on the East Coast. They've been to PAX West, that's Seattle on the West Coast. And, well, they should go to both. The toy show and the Farm Progress show, both are in the Midwest. And then about the only thing they need to hit is the South. The dang country's too big. That's the problem. Right? Yeah, they have the Houston Rodeo, but the problem is, like, you know, traversing Texas is 12 hours or more. Let alone the folks that are in like Oklahoma or Louisiana, even Georgia, New Mexico. It's 600 miles from me to get to Boston. That's a good 9 hours or so. And I think that's if I don't stop, right? But no one's gonna drive 9 hours without stopping. So it's a good 11 hours. Assuming you're gonna be stopping 3 times on average. I mean, I think once every 200 miles is pretty reasonable. So yeah, the country's just too darn big. But it's a super cool show. Looking forward to covering it again for you guys this year. Well, I just was guessing. But yeah, I mean, right? You get out there, there's some big states. It takes forever to get anywhere. Louisville is not as far for me. It's still a pretty good drive. I gotta look it up. I don't think I can get there and back on a tank. But I feel like I can get there with half tank, or a little less than half. Let's see here. It's 461 miles for me to Louisville. Boston, 600. Houston, Texas. Wow, that's 1,200 miles. Let's see, miles to kilometers. That's 1,931 kilometers. For those inclined to measure in that distance. Christian, I do not have an 18-speed shifter knob for ATS. I shift ranges with a button, or with 2 buttons on my side panel. Jonathan, I had a calendar. I had a calendar from Gleaner that I got last year's farm show. It was really cool because it had all the farm shows, or it had lots of farm shows listed on it. And I threw it out because, of course, you know, it's no longer valid. I'm going to try to have to pick one up again this year. And I could see, like, what farm shows are in that area. But, you know, even the provinces in Canada are so big. Yeah, I mean, they had, Giants has said that they had a very, very, very good turnout. They were very happy with the, and I swear if I say this wrong, it is not, I'm not trying to be offensive. The Lambda show, Lambda, again, it's the UK show from last week. And it was a 2-day show, and I think they said they had like 20,000 visitors at the show. They're anticipating 300,000 visitors to the Louisville show over 4 days. I tell you, I'd never seen so many people in my life in one place. It was an absolute packed event last year. A million square feet under one roof. Probably 75,000 people every day for 4 days. It's crazy. Oh, I don't drive automatic in ATS. I know Simper's got the attachment for his shifter now. He said he likes using it. Yeah. According to the Google, it's a 6-hour drive for me. I will probably do that in with one stop. I'll probably stop about halfway, grab lunch, and go the rest of the way. There's the farm miniature show where they have all those little miniatures set up, the dioramas. That's the show I'm talking about. Or that's the show I'm thinking about. But the way I see it is anyone at an ag show is part of Giants' target audience. Their target audience are gamers and those who are in agriculture. Yeah, that one. The Dryersville, Iowa show. That's what I call the toy show. I don't know what it's called. For legits. If you're into agriculture toys, if you're into like agriculture modeling, it's not that far of a step to be remotely interested into agricultural gaming. See, the National Farm Toy Show. See? Yeah, the toy show. I mean, one thing that I was really surprised at the National Farm Machine Show last year, local schools take field trips to the farm show. Like fully sanctioned field trips during the middle of the school day. School buses roll up, unload heaps of high school FFA, they're all wearing FFA jackets, high school FFA members. And they just wander the show for 4 hours. And then they all get back on the bus and go back to school to then go home. And then to tell their parents about the cool show that they went to, just to drag their parents out to the show on the weekend. I was like, dude, this is some serious stuff. Right? So you've got farmers coming out to the ag show to look at machinery, talk to dealers, talk to vendors, right? Wheel and deal, try to see what they can do, get some hands on the stuff, right? Look at it. You've got high school kids who are interested in agriculture coming out to the show, looking at all the amazing machinery, doing what high school kids do when they're left unsupervised. You have families coming out on Saturday and Sunday, because I'm pretty sure the show is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let me look. It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sorry. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You have families coming out on Saturday. You have families with young kids that aren't in school coming out during the week, because they got strollers and stuff. Perfect audience. Capture people who aren't aware of an agricultural computer game. Perfect audience for the brand people to wheel and deal and talk to North American representatives from all these companies. Two-prong attack. The thing is, they're just not equipped right now in the Chicago office to do an event domestically like they want to do events internationally in general. There you go, Shane. Yeah. So they moved it from Kansas City to Louisville. I guess he outgrew the Kansas City facility. I don't know. This will be my second year. So give them a little bit. Give them a little bit. And get ramped up. Oh, we just made a lot of money. We're up to 65,000. $13,000 sold products. This is where I ran out of water and I wasn't making ketchup. But we've been making about 20 grand each month. So it'll be interesting seeing how we do. Now that we're also making cornbread. Well, Donna, you just have to squeeze firmly and pull down. Squeeze firmly and pull down. I think it's more you just sucked at it. They had a big diorama at the farm show last year. It was pretty popular for people to walk by. I think I had it in possibly the 4th day's coverage of that event. Oh, Genetic can come by. I don't think he lives too far away, he said. If he can get away for a couple hours. I think is it Farmers Forever that collects toy stuff, or is that Scooter's Workbench? Heck, maybe they both do it. I had grown up couple tractors. I had a baler. I had a harvester. Of course, it was all red. Yeah, when they start building out those model things, like, you can get in there and you can tell it's like a lot of that stuff is really well done to scale. And then they transport all that stuff, which is even more insane. It's like mounted to a board, right? It's got to be built good enough to stick around while you drive it to and from the shows. This year I'm going to try to get up on top of one of the bigger pieces of machinery and some of the bigger hauls, and then since I've got my telescoping camera gimbal now, just kind of extend that up, and I can rotate the camera around on the gimbal to get this 360 view. The train is usable, yes. There is a train sell point. It is Sedalia. See, how much have we taken to the corn mill? I want to keep some corn around for the eventual popcorn. All right, let's see our poll. Let's close out our poll voting. See where we stand. 83% say straw harvest is a yes. Out of 76 votes, 15% are meh, and 1% is no. Pretty favorable results. pretty favorable. What's your preferred piece of machinery in that pack so far? Those that have had a chance to use it. Oh, the bell grabs are nice for sure. Pellet press. Yeah, those bale grabs are pretty sweet for moving bales around. Now, I have been keeping up with the known issues posted over Creative Mesh's Discord, and I have been updating our announcements channel in our Discord related to those. As things get reported, they've been updating that list. I had someone comment today that sounds like maybe the liftable bales is in conflict. They seem to say whenever they put a liftable bale on the bale shredder, the game locks up. That was on PlayStation. I suspect that's because liftable bales is its own unique bale, and the bale shredder probably doesn't know what to do if it doesn't get one of the bales it's expecting to be placed on it. I know that I know if you're not careful, the square baler and the bale collector can cause your implement to launch into the sky. And typically is when you make a super tight turn. You try to turn too tight with those things connected. They don't like each other and will cause bad things to happen. I had that happen in my own testing before I was recording those segments. But I suspect anything that modifies your bale would have the potential to affect that mod. So they did add net wrap and net twine add-on as conflicts. My experience with those, at least with the net wrap, I wouldn't really call it a conflict, just an interesting behavior where they both function. Now, it may be that the square bales behave differently, especially if you try to put them on the shredder. They may behave the same way liftable bales behaves. But with the round baler, at least what I've seen, it just makes you have to fill the baler twice with net wrap. But these things are bound to happen when you release something like Straw Harvest. It's not like they can test against every iteration of possible thing out there. Hope I can get back. I should be able to. We're at 53%. Anything notable that is supposedly up and coming? Farm sim related, you all know about? The up and coming maps, up and coming mods. I asked during the pre-show if folks had had a chance to check out the map that dropped yesterday from Simulation for the Nation. Fellow content creator on YouTube, moved and turned map author, map editor extraordinaire. I think I forgot to put a link to his channel in the description. I said I was going to. Custom modding is making a map. Yeah, I never even tried to follow Farm Sim News. There's not enough time in the day for me to do that. Lots of irons in the fire, huh? Oops. Lots of irons in the fire. Well, I mean, they're more of a modding group, I think, than a single individual, but I might be wrong. Is that what region is that map based out of? I don't see any spot mist. Do you see any spot mist? I think I've heard the Italian mapper dude is working on a new map that looks to be some time out. Sir Raznek is here. How's your hump day evening? Well, Tukey, I think you need to report that. You report that to the counselor. It may have been inappropriate. Doing good. I hear you're enjoying Pal World. Maybe a little bit too much. Maybe a little bit too much. Apparently that game is taking over the world. I need to check something. So, did you know that GPortal, explanation GPortal, offers Pal World dedicated servers, supporting up to 4 to 32 slots per player. Servers are only compatible with the Steam version of the game, not with the Game Pass version. Oh, sad face. Sad face. Thank you for being a farm baron for 33 months. Tukey for 30 months. And Donald for 14. I don't know anything about Pal World. But I don't think it is Pokemon. I think it's something different. It may be like Pokemon, but I don't know if they licensed Pokemon. You say they ran out of servers. See, they have, yeah, they've got servers in London, Germany. That's it. In China, but you can't buy China servers unless you're in China. They've got London and German servers left. They are sold out of all 4 data centers in the US. DC, New York, Dallas, and LA. Was sold out of Brazil servers. Was sold out of Japanese servers, Australian servers, and Singapore servers. So apparently the UK and Germany, they still have servers. Well, I don't think I don't think anyone anticipated the interest of people in whatever POW world is. All I know is I know it exists. I don't know anything else. I mean, I gotta think the latency wouldn't be all that bad for a UK server. Now that Raz has real internet, he can host things at his house. So you're saying I should have picked up a POW World server on the 19th? Well, you tend to have some bad latency in general. It was showing me 89 to Germany. I can send a message asking to get updated when they're available again. But I hear the concurrent player numbers are insane. I don't know how much the game is selling for, but they have made a fortune. Even with Steam taking their like 20%. Now it's still early access, right? Or it's still beta? Early access. Well, this will definitely give them an infusion of cash to continue the work, and will definitely motivate them to continue their work. I saw a YouTuber that I watch. Some Baldur's Gate stuff was doing Enshrouded, but I didn't have a chance to watch any of it. Tell you what, I've heard a lot about hold on. Path of Exiles, is that it? Path of Exile, that's it. I've heard a lot about Path of Exile. It's a free-to-play, basically action RPG. And basically people are like, this is so much better than Diablo 4. And being free to play, it's the, you know, it's got the right price point. I've seen somebody play it. I've seen people that were like, you know, 100% bought into Diablo 4 play it and say, yeah, this is my next thing. It's been out for a while, and I guess it's just kind of flown under the radar. Apparently the dev tree is like insane. And it's got some interesting mechanics with gems. It's on my list of things to maybe ever play. If I ever have time. What's up, Hellhawk? How you doing tonight? How are you doing? How you doing? Let me show you what I bought into. And see what you all think of it. This is my second ever. Did you quit being a dingleberry? This is my second ever Indiegogo thing. And I think this thing looks just so dang cool. So it's a little mini computer. Has an AMD APU, which means CPU, integrated video, all in one bundle. And the case is fashioned around basically a classic Nintendo console, the original NES. And it's got a little door that flips up in the front, like where you used to slide the cartridge in. But instead of that, that exposes the front I/O. It's got a little LCD screen on the top. And yeah, I bought the bare bones one, and I'm gonna load it up with hard drive and RAM when it comes in. It'd be like a perfect little media computer for, you know, for your living room. A perfect little heck, it would be amazing as just a little home computer for web browsing and general home office type work. Supposedly going to be shipping in the end of February. I've been on a little kind of like mini computer kick. So we'll see. It's either gonna absolutely suck, or it's gonna be awesome. That's the way my life works. So it's either complete trash, or it's the most amazing thing ever. But yeah, it's like $439. I could do that just to mess around with it. And I got picked up some RAM. I got that coming. I've got an M.2 drive I can slap in it. I remember this wheat harvest took like 2.5 hours to do on this field. It's probably about as long as the corn harvest is going to end up taking. But I'll definitely let folks know on the Discord when it shows up, when I get a piece together. What it looks like. I'll load up. Maybe I'll load up Farm Sim on it and see how well I can play Farm Sim with the integrated GPU. It should run pretty decent because that's it's better than the APU that's in the Steam Deck. And it's equivalent to a lot of the APUs that are in some of the more modern handheld ones. So we'll see. But Schultz is admitting, he's admitting to playing games at work. Where's the supervisor at when you need him? Back up. Please do me the favor. Oh. Well, this is handy. I mean, you might try. If you've got a spare drive lying around, you can try a different drive in it. Might be a failing drive more than anything else. That's right, Donald, you are lost. You're lost as humanity. Out there. You left. You never came back. We're gonna have to send someone out to see if they can find you. This will be the last load of corn I bring down here. Because the rest of the corn we're going to save to run through the dryer. But we're making cornbread. And we're making money. Up to $72,000. So we're at $19,000 of money earned this month. And it's only 2 p.m. Hellhawk, we're just breaking the law, Beavis and Butthead. Who remembers that? So the rest of this corn we're going to put in our silo. We need to haul some wheat down to the flour mill. That thing's seriously full. I think, if I remember right, Beavis and Butthead was a thing when I was in college. I think. I know it wasn't before college because I had no access to cable TV at that point. I mean, you could run check disk and tell it to fix errors automatically. But putting a different drive in just to run for, if it does that pretty regularly, just to run for a couple days to see if it suddenly clears up or not. Like my system here, there for a while, the network connection, when the system would come online, like it would say it didn't have a network connection, and I would have to basically disable and re-enable the network adapter in Windows, and then it would start working again. I eventually got tired of that, so then I just funsies replaced the network cable, fixed it. Haven't had an issue since. But it could be that there's a flaky part of the drive that the driver is in, and it drops the connection when it tries to read the driver. All right, Dozer, catch you later. We're going to be wrapping it up here soon as well. We are approaching the top of the hour. And we're going to have to say good night to everyone. Farewell. Sweet dreams. Adios. Catch y'all on the flip side. Friday, we will be over at the FK Funhouse channel doing our hopeful Wreckfest live stream. We had to skip Wreckfest last week because we had 3 maps drop on Friday and we were busy pumping those videos out. But hopefully we will be back on Wreckfest over at the Funhouse channel on Friday. Since we live stream tonight, I'm probably going to abstain tomorrow night. But again, if there is a map drop on the Mod Hub, well, you know what I'll be doing. And you'll know what type of content to look forward to later in the evening. Hope you all continue to enjoy Straw Harvest. Stay safe. And until next time, happy farming.